I request you guys. I request you guys. I want your the complete focus on the screen. As you know, like this is a weekend, even though you have taken a time and attending this webinar. So everyone, I welcome you for these webinar to get it the more informations here. So we're going to see the deeper insight about the technology, how it can be worked, what are the things is happens, what are the major challenges are there as a security analyst if we have been working, how we can start a career with high paying salaries. Okay, so this webinar, at the end of this webinar, you'll be there at the position that can measure that yes, this is made for me. I want these services, or I don't like to be have these services. So this is a very clear picture. We're going to get it after this webinar. Okay, so let's do start without any delay. So we are going to talk about something called as the SOC analyst and cloud security role in the cyber security. So how we going to be get a financial stability and the growth with these job position. So the very first thing I tell you that there is a huge demand in the cybersecurity when we talk about the opportunity which is coming are very wider, and it depends how the skill set you have it. I don't say that the people who do not have an skill set, the people who do not have the technical background can be a part of this. Of course they can be a part of this, but there are certain things comes, there are certain process come which we need to understand. So with this demo I'm going to tell you that how these possibilities are there, and also you can measure that yes, is it possible or not. All right, so let me just give you some example here. First, before I go ahead, I would like to tell you about the tech gig. What is tech gig actually? So tech gig, we found this in 2000, 2010, where we've been working with the different domains. We're into the network projects, we're there into the compliance audit, consultant services, as well as in the security. So we are passionate about the cybersecurity, providing the exact core training what is required, as well as services we are giving across 16 different countries where the people are improving their business, individuals with understanding about the security importance and being part of these services. If you can see that this is our website, you can go ahead and see that they detail what the services we are giving, what are the client we have it. And the tech gig is located in Hyderabad, India, near Malakpet metro stations, right? The pillar number is 1403. So it's a very easy address to get reach us, right? We are there in third floor, available Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. This is the office timing, where you can come down and can meet if you would like to and go ahead. This is how we have the process of it. So before I go ahead and talk much about it, I would like to tell you that the person who's talking behind the screen host this. My name is Sheikh, and you can call my name is Sheikh Iftikhar. You can call me Sheikh, and I'm cybersecurity expert with 12 years of experience. I work into the most of designing, implementing, and different security solutions to the organizations based on the asset list, understanding the security criterias, what are the asset lists are there, how those asset lists can be get differentiated, what are different the areas are there where we need to be taken care of it. So if I talk about this, we are there into the consulting the services that's required for the auditing system, control system, drafting the different security policies when it is done, deployment for the SIM solutions, right? We need to be a technical project for the government, bank, healthcare, as well as different private sector, even different crime investigations. So we've been the part of that. So we work focus on the both way. One is the solutions, other is the training. So I've trained over 10,000 professional globally, and I'm passionate about empowering the people to get start the career into the demanded role, the especially if I talk about the cybersecurity. If I talk about my personal profile, I'm a husband, father, hacker, gamer, sportsman, and animal lover. And if you're gonna click me and you want to get linked with me through the LinkedIn, yes, of course you can do it. We have Sheikh Ifti. If you can check that, over the LinkedIn, you may get this and you can connect through with me. Okay, so this is a very short information about my profile. Now comes to the main core about it, right? What is that? So when I talk about the process when we are doing it, you might get the mentorship with many people. The important thing is that understanding the concern, understanding the process, what you needed on your profile. That's most important part. Because there might be a several trainers are there, I believe, like, better than me, maybe there's a trainer are there. But what my belief system is that when the people are getting into the process, like, what exactly the core needed to get a job, like my concern will be like, your benefit will get with the training, not to get a perfect training, like, not to get, like, core training with hands-on tools and experience. The main benefit we get with the training when we've been on job, right? We need to be have a job, we need to be get a job. That's the most important part. So that's what where I want you to tell you that I'm a professional, like, certified trainer. Like, I've been done with the CISO, I'm there into the CH. I have done like security plus, I have different networking and cloud certification. So this is one of my highest certifications, like, which I have completed in 2023. So that is the CISSP, if I can say that, like, so I'm an official trainer where I've been giving the services to the different corporate and getting understand their requirement what needed on it. Now let's do understand straight away. If I talk about what are the top challenges where the candidate face while they're going for an interview. So with this research, like, I have done a lot of research, I have seen a lot of use cases. Based on that, we have designed this curriculum. So there are some of the challenges which we like to tell you about that. The first challenge is lack of preparation. So the preparations are completely in different areas where the people are doing it. They have some idea about the Kali Linux. Today time I have my team have been consulting with many of the people, like, who are reaching for the training with us. Like, they think like, sir, we know everything about the Kali Linux. I know like these things in the Kali Linux where I have done, like, the complete lab setup with the Kali Linux. So is it I'm capable of doing that? So just having an idea about the Kali Linux or experience on the Kali Linux working, it's not your ethical hacker. It's not your, like, expert in cybersecurity. That mindset we have to understand. If we have that much skill set, then why we are not done the job? That's a fact. That's straight away I'm saying you, like, when the people have a skill set on Kali Linux, then why they are struggling to get a job? Because they don't have a proper system to get approach to get this job. That is the challenges where we are facing, and we are not ready to accept that challenge. Yes, these are the things are there. So that there are, like, the different method comes. That's most important part here. So the lack of preparations is very important, like, where we can see that in every people, like, which have been coming. The second important thing is that interview anxieties. That's again the big problem where the people are going to be faced. Like, they're not able to communicate with the interviewer with a lot of skill set they've been having, but they're not able to tell that, they're not able to deliver that. That's the process are there. Now, communication issues, that is again one of the challenges where we have it. And also we can see that there is the technical proficiency when we talk about it. So this is are the sum of, like, the more important concern when I talk about the security measures. So lack of preparations, interview anxieties, that can be the communication issues can be there, or it can be, like, the technical proficiency will be there. So this is are the areas where the people need to be get understand when they're going to start the career into it. So most of the people fail, like, because they misalignment with the job expectations. The skill set what is required is not get matches. Lack of clarity about the requirement skills, like what tools, what are, like, the job profiles are there where the people are get failed to get recognized on. So this is are some of, like, very important concern whenever we talk about, like, when they are been a part of areas when we are seeing, like, the people when they get start these areas they get failed. So what we have done, we have designed the complete process. We have designed the complete process, like how you can come over with this problem. Mastering the cyber security right from your skill set, the correct skill set what is needed, and the entire process for your interview preparations. Like, we have designed these in a very expert manner, so where we can scale you, we can, like, see your scale by taking your mock interview where you should be needed, like, more preparations, what areas you're getting failed, like how we can, like, pass that. So there is, like, customized end-to-end consultant will be there for you to get prepared you the well manner. Like whenever we are going ahead and starting a job in the market, we need to be a battlefield experience. We should know that everything, every tools, every process, how we can detect the malware, how we can investigate those malware, what are attacks may happen, how the mitigation steps can be there. As a security expert, if you've been working, what are the step by step process are there? That's a very important part. So as a cybersecurity expert, if you are working in the organization, the most important thing is that you must know the current tools which are there in the market. If I'll say you that, well, being a part of this, if we have been considered as an experienced person, a battlefielded person, when we are starting a job in the market, we must know about the certain tools here. That's the most important part. The tools, like we have the virus total, we have something called as a Splunk, we have Azure Sentinel, we have Shodan's, we have IBM QRadar, we have Wireshark, we have Nmap, and there many tools are there. You need to be have an experience. You need to know about how these tools works, what are the areas we are going to be work as a security expert if we are starting a career. So we must have, if I want to be a battlefield ready, it means you must know about these tools, which is the most important part, where the most of the people get failed to get have the real experience on this. This is the lacking, where the people will not able to get grab the opportunity to get learn on this, and they are into the confusions. I may get the benefit with this or not. So there is a lot of confusions are there in the career, and that makes us far back. Many people are getting succeed to their targeted their goal, taking a right decisions with learning with the new technology, which is the most important part. Now if I'll tell you how this process will be there, so I'm going to tell you the complete roadmap, in a very simple way. See, when I need to land a job in the security operations center as a SOC analyst, right? So what are the things are there? So this is the process which we have designed. The first thing is that the SOC operation procedures and tools, which is most important part. If we've been a security expert, how we going to be work on these tools? What are the procedures are there? We're going to get in hands-on practical knowledge. That's very important with the real SOC environment, which we're going to do it. We're going to discuss everything about the industry expert insight. What are the solved problems can be there? How are you going to solve their problem? I'll tell you one simple way. If we've been a bridge for their problem, if we are a bridge and we take them from problem to the solution, they're gonna ready to hire us. They're going to pay whatever we demanded here. That's the most important part. But we need to prove that we are the solutions for the problem. That's the most important part. True or not? Just keep it in the chat if you say that it's true. I want to see that everybody, if we are the solutions for anyone's problem, they're going to be hire us. Yes or no? Just type in the chat quickly. Yes. Interaction is very important. Okay. So this is what where we have to understand that whenever we have been a part of these, when we become a solutions for anyone's problem, they're going to make it the solutions very important. That's a part of the sessions where we're going to understand that. We're going to prepare you for all the job interviews, whatever the technical expertise are they required. And also we're going to discuss about how we can land a job in the SOC. This is our the steps where we have it. So whenever we talk about as a SOC analyst, when we have been working, there are the different SOC levels are there. Level 1, level 2, level 3. So you'll be going to cover this entire position. It depends upon our existing experience, like what we are having and how we can get it into it. Now, as a SOC analyst, we're going to be work on these tools, right? The tools which I said you about, Splunk, IBM Curator, Rapid 7, there are many areas are there which we have discussed about it, right? So what are these tools are there? Let me just straight away give you some idea about this. Now, if I talk about the Splunk, this is the Splunk where we're going to be work on that. We're going to investigate different type of incident whenever it is happen. So what are those areas are there? How it's going to be work? What are like the methods will be there. We're going to discuss that the complete process of this. If I go ahead and see that the detail about this, how we're going to be work, we're going to be monitor the different type of the dashboards here. We're going to investigate different type of incident over here. So if I click on this dashboard, I can be able to see what sort of information happens on these networks here, right? So if I click on the firewall dashboard, let's take an example here. So when I click on this firewall dashboard, I can be able to see there are the certain assets are there through which we are getting this information. So here you can see that the what are the block connections are there, what are the allow connections are there, what are the teardown connections are there, what are those external source IP, external destination IPs, what are the traffic types are there. So there are the huge information where we're going to see over this, and we can be the power of this. This is a very important concept, while been working which countries have been get attacked, like how we can going to mitigate on those situations. And there are the different queries are there. If I'll just give you a small idea about these complete tool here, we can see the search and report. So there are the search and report are nothing but when we click on this, I can write a different type of SQLs here. There are the certain queries are there, SPL languages we are been using. So how we can write these SPL queries, we're going to discuss that in scratch. We're going to be get the complete detail about that. What is the analytic process? What type of analytics we're going to do it? What are the databases are there? Data sets are there? Reports. There are the several type of reports we're going to create it. Different type of alerts we're going to create. Different type of dashboards we're going to create it. Right now, there are the several areas are there. Now let me say that imagine a one use case here. Let me just tell you one use case here, how we can identify that here. Let's imagine that there is some malicious website we have it, right? There is some malicious website we have it. So over this malicious website, we're gonna see that there are some users have visited to that, there are certain users, what they have done, they have visited to this website. So we need to list out what are those users have visited to this website. Let me I want to see top 10 users who visited to this, and I want to see what is the status code, is that they have currently visited to this website or not. So for that, what I'm going to do it, I'm going to just give you one example here. Let's say that how this queries can be written. So if I'll say that test, and if I'm taking the particular source type here, so this is the source type as access combine, w cookies where we can be taken here. So let me say that this is something where I'm talking about certain source type. So this index are nothing but where our data is coming, and source type is nothing but how the data is categorized. So I don't want you to get worried, or don't worry about how it's difficult. So this is a quite easy. I'll tell you in detail about it, how it works on that in coming sessions. But here you can see that we are going to see the certain data sets. Now in these data sets, what is the most important thing is that we are going to discuss about it. We're going to talk about the malicious website where the users have visited, like top 10 users IP addresses I needed here. So for that case, what I'm going to do it, I'm going to just create some use case. Let me see the domains. What are those domains? So for let's as a use case, I'm going to be take one domain here. It's buttercupsgames.com. Let us consider that these domain, which I say that the buttercupsgames.com, it can be considered as the malicious URL. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do it, let me see that the status quota is 200 which have visited. I need to see the top 10 users who have visited here. So I'm going to use a top limit. So top limit that equal to 10 users, which I need to be know that, and I need to see their status as well. So if I'll see that here, you can see that the detail which I'm going to be getting. So it's a super easy, right? When I'm writing these queries. So here we can see that the status is 200, the count is here, right? So what are those client IPs are there? Which are the users have visited. So if I want to see that information, also I can do that something about here. So let us understand that what type of information we are getting with this. So total count, we are able to see that here. Now here, just give me 1 minute. So here I made it something wrong. So that's the reason it was not representing the result. But now you see that. So here we can see that these are the client IP and the status code is 200. 200 is nothing but when the user have successfully visited. And here you can see the count. So these count can be a malicious, and we can investigate on each of these IP addresses. What type of connections they have made it, what type of process they have done. So this is are the type of the queries which we can write, and we can get the informations whatever we have it. We can can visualize this data into the different format, right? So it can be depends upon the count or depends upon the client IP, whatever we have it, right? So that's our most important part. Like, there are the different visualizations can be there. I can be taken as a line chart here, or I can be go ahead with, like, some of the barcodes here. There are, like, pie chart. There are many things are there. Whatever I required, I can be created these type of informations and can be understand the data. What is that? It's the malicious or not? This is what where the real, like, stock environment I've been going to work on it. If I'm going to investigate certain more information, let's see that if I want to see about the logs from firewall, right? So that is how it's going to be happens. Let's understand that. So I'm going to just show you something here. uh, yeah. So stripe for to get traffic. So this is here where we can be able to see the informations which we can be able to see from the firewalls here. So here we can see that, like, if I click on these information, so this is a raw data, how we are getting it. And if we can see that here, it says about the FortiGate traffic. And if I can see the product, the log is a firewall, the firewall logs we are receiving. So we're going to see, like, what do you mean by these firewall logs, what information this contain, right? What is the country name? The destination country is United States, and we can see the destination port and so on. So there are the several tools are there. This is the one of the example I've given about the Splunk. There's another tool called as a Rapid 7 here. Now this is the Rapid 7 where I can see that if I click on this, if I get login here, you'll get some information about that. So here also we are collecting the different data here. So these systems, whatever we are collecting the data, which are going to give us the complete report about what is happening to our asset, what type of information we are getting to this asset. So those are very important concept where we are going to see. So this is here. Here we can see that this is the dashboard where we have it. So these dashboard also give it, like, the complete informations about the exploitations, about any type of vulnerabilities if it is there, what are the system hosts and everything. So these dashboards can be, like, applications overview, compliance, network overview, risk monitoring, system monitoring. It can be the threat and security monitoring. What are the different type of offenses happens? So if I click on this offenses, I can be able to see the type of offenses which is happens. I can see the live logs. If I click on the log activities, I'm collecting the data from multiple sources here. So the sources from where we are collecting this data. And if I'll see that these data, this information is in the more like, visualized way, that, like, different type of dashboards are there which I can create, that I can understand about those dashboards, like, what type of information is happening here. So I can create the different type of reports. I have the different type of the network activities here. If I can see that, like, last, this is the live, like, the traffic which is coming on my network here. So if we can see that this is the applications which are been using, and here we can see that the date and time and everything, this is the system time, okay, 10 a.m. So here you can see that at 10 a.m. where we are having, like, at this time at my place is 10 a.m. So here you can see that the time, like, whatever the time we have been having, source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port, like, what type of the traffic and what type of domains we are acquiring, everything, all these informations which have been collecting from these multiple sources here. So these sources are very important, like, while been working on it. So if I'm going to investigate on any of these log or any of these offenses, let me see that. If I click on the last 7 days here, if I'm clicking on this, and if I can see that there are the several events happens, right? So let me group this in order to get you understand in more detail. So I have a group process called as the event name here, where you can see that. So whenever we can see that, like, when I click on this event name, I can be able to see, like, there are the several activities happens here. Now these activities can be related to the different, like, areas here. If you can see that the user failed login happened to the SSH here. So what does that means? So this many time the login failure happens to the particular user here. So at this point of time, what I'm gonna do it, I'm going to investigate on these logs here. So here you can see that this is the attempt happened. So I want to differentiate with the username. What was the login failure happens? What are the usernames were there? So here, if I can click on this, I can be able to see these are the multiple username where they have decided here. Like, they have done the brute forcing here. So this is how where we can be able to work on the QRadar. That is, we're going to discuss that in detail about the different type of queries we can write, and over these searches, the different type of searches we have it, like advanced search, new search, edit search. If I go to these searches, I can see that as a security expert, if you have been working, I can use the different areas and different type of searches here, right? That can be related to the particular source IP, destination port, or I can be added some more fields also here. So how those things is happens, how we can manage that the entire custom process, which we are going to discuss that in detail here. Okay. Now next we have something called as a Rapid 7. This is also a sim tools which you're going to be get step by step the entire information how we're going to work on this. So if we can see that these tool also give us the complete detail about the activities happening on the particular endpoints here. So this is which can give it the informations about what is a critical, high, medium, low, how those alerts happens. What are type of those alerts are there? How we going to take an actions on these alert, which is again very important concept here. So when I click on this Rapid 7 here, it's also gonna give us the security operations activities. So the total 39 investigations are left it here, and here you can see that there are the 4 high and 35 low is here. So obviously, when I talk about these high alerts, if I click on this high alert, I can be able to see what are those alerts are there. So it's getting load, and here you can see that the custom alerts, login failure when it is happens, the endpoint asset means there is some login failure it is happened, and what is that login failure, which team is working on that, everything, all the process. If I click on the evidence, I can be able to see the informations about it, the particular desktop name, which is the computer they failed with the bad password here, and we can see the event code something that is a 4625, and so on. There are the several information where we can be able to see that here. So whenever we talk about the investigations are comes in a different pattern here. Now if I can see that here, there is some investigations here. If you can see that there is a suspicious process here. So if I click on this suspicious process, what is that? How are we going to investigate that here? So malicious hash on the asset. So there is some hash values are there in the asset that will be considered as a malicious. Now what is that hash value? Here you can see that the asset is this, and the process of this hash value is this one. So what I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna copy this value, I'm gonna go to the threat intelligence tools, and I'm gonna check that is this the malicious or not first. Let me show that. So this is called as an investigation process. We have one thing called as a virus total here. If I'll go to this, I can be able to put this hash value. I'll go to the search and put this hash value, and I'm gonna see that is a malicious or not. So here we can see that yes, security vendor flag. This is a file as a malicious here, and you can see that this is will be category as a Trojan, and this is a Trojan which has been reported as a malicious file. Now, how the action should be taken on these file? So when we have seen that this is the malicious, and I can go ahead in detail about that logs, we can create a ticket. So while we're creating a ticket, there are the several ticketing tools will be there. Let me explain you that as well. Give me 1 minute. No, this is how the ticketing tools will be there. Where we have been going to work on that. The Jira, if I'll take it. So here we can see that all the summary about it. So what type of alerts are there? What are the issues are there? How many resolved issues are there? What is ongoing issues are there? So what are the type of the attacks happens here? If you can see that. So we can see the blacklist IP addresses is done. There is some unwanted software in the install. So if I can see that some detail informations in the list wise, I can be able to see there are the several alerts are there, like brute force attack, unwanted softwares install, malware attack, phishing attack, policy violation if it is happens, privilege access. So how we can create these ticket, how we can assign this ticket, over the SOC environment. These are the procedure, these are the requirements are there while you have been working. You need to be have this skill set. The process of integrations as well as the entire method, how it works. We have something called as a platform also we are going to cover, that is a Azure Sentinel, as I said you that. If I'll take you to this, there are many tools are there in fact, when I'm talking about it. So here also we can see that there are the several type of informations which we can be able to see that here. So this is a Azure Sentinel, which is a Microsoft product, and we're going to monitor the entire security over these process here. So if I can click on the virtual machines, or if I'll go to the first the Sentinel, I'll show you that. So we're going to see that how we can work on those machines and what are the areas we're going to work on it. So as a security analyst, when we have been working here, we can see that there is something called as the in events. We can see the incident. So there are total some incident is showing it as 238 incident is showing it here. Now there's a brute force attacks happens, like continuously brute force attack happening. What is the data from where it is happening? This is the entire informations we can see that. So there are 241 alerts we got it here, right? You can see that. So 241 alerts happens and that need to be get investigated here. So how we going to do these investigations? What are those alerts are there? What areas are there here? So when I can go to the analytic, I can have the complete informations about these severities. What are those alert types are there? What are the active rules are there? How we can create the different type of rules over these, what type of method we can do it, what type of log searches we can apply, there are the different type of the data sources, different type of the searches are there, where we going to see that how we can write this, the rules in order to detect that. So there are the different permissions, different ads, different queries which we need to be get integrated over our data while been working on it. So these security alerts, whatever we are getting it, we're going to discuss that in detail, step by step process. Overall, this is at the method, whenever we talk about the incident, when we are seeing that the entire process systems, uses, what are the security events are there, heartbeats are there, anything. If I click on these alerts, I can be able to see the complete informations about these alerts. So these alerts are going to give us the informations about what type of alert is coming, what exactly this alert is contained about. So this is severity high, and if you can see that there is a brute force attack happens, can you see that here? So there is the different time zone where the brute force attack has taken place here. Yes, are you able to see this, everyone? So there is a brute force attack and the severity levels are high. So the continuously there is some attack is happening. Now what do you mean by the brute force attack? This is designed in order to see, if anybody has done the login failure or they're trying to get attacked to the system. So what is that, what are the process are there? So this is are been coming from security alert, and the tactics that is comes on the MITRE attack framework: initial access, privilege access, and credential access here. So while whenever we are writing this rule, if you know something about it, we call as a something as a MITRE attack book here. So let me just give you a small idea about that. If I'll go to the analytic here, and if I'm writing the correlations rules in order to detect these activities here, if you can see that this is are there, if I'm creating a new rule, if I'll schedule the new rule here, so whatever the name I can give that, I can see the descriptions, I can see the severity level, and here comes as a MITRE attack framework. So there are the 14 different steps are there: reconnaissance, we have the resource development, initial access, execution, persistence, we have the privilege access, defense evasions, critical, credential access, discoveries, collections, command and control, exfiltrations, impact, lateral movement, evasions, there are so on 14 different steps rather, the framework where it can be worked. So this is how where we're going to work about it. We're going to see that incident response, how that can be scheduled, what are the areas happens. So these are the practical areas which we are going to discuss about the sim tools. We're going to use the different tools, like example, we're going to get it in hands on, even on the exact what skill set we required for the packet captures here. So we're going to see that, what is this here. So whenever I talk about the capture of different packets here, we have the Wireshark here. So we're going to see how we're going to get this packet, what are the protocol hierarchies are there. If I'll go to the protocol hierarchy, how does this work, what are the informations we get over that here. So what is a UDP, what is a TCP, under the TCP what informations we get, what type of packets we collected, what are the source IP, source port, destination IP, destination port. If I'm doing the different type of investigations here, let's say that example, if I want to investigate about the DHCP logs here, okay. So if I want to do the investigation on DHCP logs, I can see that this is the dynamic host configure protocol. And if I click on this, select on this, and here you can see that all these discover, offer, request, acknowledge, these are the informations are there. So this is all about the DHCP protocols, where we can see that. So we can analyze these type of logs also in detail. So everything, which is comes as a practical sessions, which we're going to do that in a practical manner here. So overall, let me tell you in a straight away, like, we've been working on it. These are the tools which I have given you a small idea, which we are going to do the practical lab till you get a complete hands-on on this training. So you've been there at the level 1, level 2, and level 3. It depends upon our existing experience where we can be work here. So if you ask me what is cybersecurity, you know very well. Cybersecurity is a information security, or it's a, like, data security, the technology which is designed to protect the IT assets. It can be the computers, networks, servers, programs, data. It can be any other programs are there from unauthorized access or attack that aim for the exploitations here. So it means like there are the several asset lists are there. Let me just give you one example about these asset lists, how it can be there. So you get some idea about that. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay. Okay. This is the asset list where we can see that. So whenever I talk about the asset list again, which is giving us the huge informations about that. So these asset list can be you know, we can see that the endpoints, we can see the network devices, we can see servers, we can see the application, we can see the database. There are the several assets are there. So if I click on the endpoint, it can be the workstation, desktops, mobile phones. It can be any other asset can be there. Same thing like the network devices also, routers, switches, firewall, load balancers. Different type of servers can be there, virtual server, physical server, cloud server. We have different type of applications which we need to know that, right? Application is also an asset. Cloud services we have, database services we have, IAM we have it. So we are going to monitor all these assets by using the sim tool, which we have seen that. So we collect the data in the form of events and log from these assets, and we're going to correlate that data, and if any alert gets, we do the investigations here. So what are these steps are there in detail, we're going to discuss it. What would be the impact, how the regulatories bodies have been working. So this is some of the idea where you must know about, while being working into the security department here. So as we can see that what exactly the SOC team will do it here. So SOC team are there to monitor the different type of alerts coming from the SIM tools. They're going to analyze those alerts, and after analyzing these alert, they're going to decide that is a legitimate or it's a bad. So if I'll say that is a legitimate, then it's going to be get ignored, don't need to take an action. But something is wrong, something is bad, then the action should be taken here. So at this point, we need to stop these guys to do the bad activities. It can be the internal threat or it can be an external threat. So here we can see that help the team to stop doing the bad activities while been working on it. So this is how the SOC operations have been working. So in a very simple way, the SOC analyst will monitor the entire asset. They detect, they investigate the response to the cyber threat, whatever we have it. So we're going to monitor this entire system, something like this, creating the complete dashboards, understanding the live environment. It's a complete practical session to get you understand how we can get a job here. What type of attacks we're going to the SOC analyst will going to take. It can be the phishing attack, man in the middle attack, DDoS attack, SQL injections, zero-day exploitations, ransomware attacks. It can be the cross-site scripting. It can be the drive-by download, and so on. So this is our type of attacks which is been going to be happens working. So when as a SOC analyst, when we say that we have an experience on this, so they're going to ask you some questions. That is a real-time process. So after getting skills, they're going to ask you some real-time scenario-based interview questions. That's something like that. Describe the scenario where you have successfully identified and mitigate a potential threat through the threat hunting. Now we need to be answer that question. How you going to explain, how you going to reduce false positive? How you going to handle any incident response according to the different guidelines, like NIST guidelines, I can say that. What are recommendations are there for the incident detections, containment, and response here. They can see how you can do root cause analysis whenever any attack is happens. So this is the most common, this is some way where I want you to connect that. They're going to ask you on a real time scenario base how the ransomware attack happens, how we going to protect that, and question to question in deep, they're going to get it into it and can ask you the more detail. So if you are good with the information security, we know everything about it, then we can be able to easily crack here. So the most of the people who got trained with us, these are the organizations where they've been working. I would like to just give them in understand about the profile, like the people who have done with the course, what are the benefit they are taking it. I want you to just experience their achieving, how it happens, what they have done with this course and what they have achieved. So I would like to just place some of their what they say about our training, how it's going to help them, it what level we have helped them, they can will just see with their experience and can go ahead. I'll just take your 2 minutes more, so where I can explain you the complete process, like how it works. So let me just give it this. This is one of my student.
Hi everyone, good morning.
His name is Mukhtar Ali, and let's see that what he says.
Myself Mukhtar Ali. I just wanted to inform you that this training was worth every single penny, and the trainers were not only knowledgeable but they are passionate about the cyber security. They made learning very easy, enjoyable, and practical. The team they are providing the services are excellent, so I just highly recommend everyone to join this course. Thanks, TechGeek.
Hi, I'm doing the cybersecurity course with Tech Geek, and it's an amazing, very informative, and practical course. I found that not only am I gaining knowledge, but also doing practical steps that would be applicable in the job, and I highly recommend it. The tutors as well as the consultants have been very, very responsive and very accommodating for every life event. So I do recommend that you take this course. Okay.
Hello everyone, myself Charan, and I completed my cybersecurity training at TechGeek, and I just wanted to take a moment to share my transformative journey with TechGeek and how this learning experience has greatly impacted my growth and understanding of the cybersecurity field. I just want to express my heartfelt gratitude to TechGeek for providing me this transformative learning experience. And it has been an incredible journey, and I'm eager to continue growing and contributing to the field of cybersecurity. So I would definitely and highly recommend TechGeek Cybersecurity to anyone who's looking to embark on a similar journey. Thank you.
Training cybersecurity with Sheikh Sir was an eye-opening experience for me. The instructor were very knowledgeable and approachable, making complex concept understandable. I now feel very confident in protecting myself and my organization from cyber threats. The hands-on lab were invaluable, giving real-world experience. Highly recommended. Thanks TechGeek and thanks Sheikh Sir.
There are many people have taken a benefit of these process, because we know the root cause of this, how we gonna help them, what are the process are there. If I'll talk about, there is hundreds of videos, there is thousands of feedbacks I
Hello
have it.
everyone,
i
my
can
name is
I can
Waleed.
give you
I'm a
example,
former
the
student
people
of
are coming
the Geek Institute
and
in
they have
Hyderabad.
achieved a good goal here. This is how what I want you to tell you that. So if you're one who looking for to start your career, I must say that take decision. I'm sure that you're going to be getting enjoy, and this will be your the major concern, when it is comes to the subject whatever we're going to deliver you, based on the process what we are doing. Decision is ours, simple way. I don't force you, but if you're looking to start your career, we can tell you that we have the complete solutions, and that makes you more easy. So always take a decisions, the right decisions. Have a confident whenever we talk about it. Now I'll tell you the big challenges where the people will get landing a job, especially if I talk about in India. The first thing is that whenever we are starting a career, so there are some challenges are there. So what are those challenges are there? The challenge is that the people face, the main areas we'll talk about the technical skill set which is required. That is the most important part, right? So cybersecurity required to be have a complete knowledge on the tools and procedures, like how we're going to be work, how we're going to respond to those incident, what are the network securities are there, what are the cloud security concepts can be there, what are the different things are there. So many beginners struggle to get these knowledge due to limited exposure of it to the real security event and incident. So we have designed this process to meet you, with these solutions can get learn entire thing what you have it. The second most important thing is that we do a lot of training, we do a lot of certifications, that's fine, but at the end we fail to clear interview. We struggle to create interview, because interviewer expectations are very different here. So we have designed these process to make you pass with your self introduction to the technical discussions whatever is going to be happen. So candidate failed to make an impact to the interviewer on their first self introduction part also. So we created a very simple templates where you just need to replace your names and process, and you can be able to clear that. So it's a real world security scenario based interview questions, and the preparations will be there, and we're going to measure it. Now the third most important part, that the companies are going to hire only about the experienced person. So if you're non-technical persons or you have experience in other domain, but you're going to switch in, what are the procedures are there. So we do have the complete solutions for that. We can also take care of those areas elsewhere. We have our consultant team can call them and can understand your profile and can talk with them. That's how it's what happens. Now possibilities of getting a job, I'll tell you some of the use cases here. There are the many people are there, who are getting, and we are doing the job process by the end. If you can see that, this is just to get you understand how is possible or not, right? So this is one of the guy where we are doing the possibilities of this, applying for a job here. So here you can see that there are plenty of jobs are there in the pipeline. And if I'll tell you about that here, there's a TCS requirement which is going on already. If you can see that here, so these guys is there always, almost the process is done with the TCS. One of the job offer is holding another job, he's also have done, the interview which is by our team has been working on his profile as well. So his a salary discussion is also going on. And there are there are different verifications part process requirement. If you can see that this is a still TCS requirement is going on. Same while I can tell you that there are 5 6 job opportunities where the same guy is been able to grab it after doing this training here, right? This is the opportunities which I want you to share you that, I want to explain you that, how it's possible here. Maybe because why have this access, because we do the complete process of them, to get understand, how the job process will be there, what are the areas are there, if we can see that here. So here we can see that this guy has got an email, this is from the particular company. If you can see that here, this is the company where he got it, and what is the package they have been going to ask them here. So here you can see the salary discussions which is going on. So these guys has got selected as a security specialist, right? The salary part where we can see that as a 95,522, and is a package of 12 lakh here approximately, you can see that. So the package overview, if you can see that this is a 12 lakh package where he's been getting it. So this is the annual package where you can see that overall, he'll be getting as a 12 lakh, and this is a monthly salary where he can be in achieve. And this is a confirmations, they got it directly about this, they got it, the complete process about the agreements. And here you can see that they said, we want you to locate in a particular locations, your annual package will be this, your process will be this, and through which it's been going this replies and, working on this profile also. So there are the possibilities are there to grab the opportunity. I can tell you, there's a lot of people who have taken an advantage with this, and there's a lot of interviews happens where the people have, taken good feedback on that. I just want you to show you some of those. Let's see how the interview pattern will happen. What are the areas, the where the people have been working on it. So let me just show you this.
All those 12 guys are site support engineers.
Give me an acknowledge that can you able to hear the sound, guys? Is that the sound is audible to you guys? Just type in the chat yes if you can.
Yes, we can able to see.
Yeah, so have a look on this.
Okay.
So this
Okay.
is this is what I'm trying to explain you, how the training will be done, when it's, especially if I talk about the interview concept. So here I'll just make it you to understand, how it's easy for us to get cracked, this is one of the my student, who have done this interview recently.
So like you can consider them as local IT support, for example. Okay.
Okay.
So SARC, now coming back to the main topic, SARC obviously is one of the very critical towers for me when it comes to
I'll make
this
it a little
project.
bit speed
Um,
up to save our
I
time.
have
I
I have
just
two very important clients that I interact with them day in day out
Okay.
for operations and delivery. One guy sits and operates out of India, Mumbai, is a senior director IT operations,
Okay.
and one guy operates out of Germany location, and he is a senior director security operations. So obviously you might have heard a designation CISO,
Yeah.
Chief Information Security Officer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So both of them, I interact with them daily. I have my own daily calls, weekly calls, monthly calls with them for making sure the delivery and operations go smooth with this entire responsibility and bigger team, right?
Okay.
So, okay, now coming back to particularly this opportunity, why you are here, right? So, look, very recently, in the sense, starting from January this year, although we are into almost September. So, since January, the existing security solutions were earlier they were on independent way of driven. For example, we used to handle our vulnerability management with Rapid7,
Okay.
IBM QRadar, some of the individual SIAM applications, right?
Okay.
But very recently, with a huge transformation project, we moved all those individual solutions in security to a Microsoft enterprise stack, which is Microsoft Sentinel, right? So
Okay.
we moved everything to Microsoft Sentinel. That as a result of business decision and client, and that project was driven by us only, very successfully.
Okay.
So by end of July, we completed that project, starting from January.
Nice.
So now everything has been handed over to BIU under my purview, and we are stabilizing things. We are taking the journey ahead, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, one of our very senior, most very highly knowledgeable technical guy who was leading this entire SOC team, he has actually, after the implementation of this project, very recently he stepped out. He exited out of Genset because of his own reasons. Now, obviously, that called for a need of backfilling, not exactly his role, but one immediate backfill in the SOC area, right?
Okay.
And because I have to back up my team with some additional helping hands, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's how the requirement came, right?
Okay.
So your earlier round one was taken by somebody, Aditya and Sumit, if I may not wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very good senior guys in my team. They're reporting to me, and I think one good thing is they have given good feedback about you. Right?
Thank you.
So yeah. That being said, now that's the quickly brief story. Of course, I took 10 minutes. Sorry for that. But
No
now,
problem.
you quickly explain me about your profile. How many companies you worked with so far? How many years of experience? What were you doing? Some of the latest technologies and security you might have already explored or exploring. Your journey.
Yeah. Sure. So first of all, it was pleasure to know about the journey and about the role and responsibility. And when it comes to my introduction, like for my experience, like I worked for almost 6 years, and I'm currently working for CapFox Technologies, and earlier I worked for Wipro. And when it comes to tools and or technology which I majorly worked on SIM tools. Like I worked on multiple SIM tools, Splunk, Rapid7, and QRadar. And when it comes to firewalls, like I also have experience working monitoring, like on day-to-day activities, like on regular basis, we will be monitoring our logs which are related to operating system related logs, Active Directory related logs, application related logs, etc. And also to monitor our dashboards to understand if there are any abnormal logs which are being reported. If there are any abnormal logs reported, like we will be analyzing those logs, understanding the capability of those logs, as in like whether it is a true positive or a false positive, and taking mitigationary.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. And taking mitigationary actions also involves in my responsibilities. And I'm also responsible for monitoring our SOC mailbox if it is forwarded with any malicious emails or phishing emails. And also, if any connector goes down, troubleshooting the issue, assigning it to the appropriate team, coordinating with different teams is my another responsibility. And I also have good experience working on EDR, endpoint related issues, wherein like we used CrowdStrike and Microsoft Defender for endpoint related issues, like which is directly in line with MITRE framework. So I have good understanding on MITRE framework as well. So these were like major roles and responsibilities. Apart from this, there is requirement like creating reports, like we will be having monthly, weekly calls. So creating weekly reports and monthly reports and presenting them to the client, and if required, creating dashboards in our SIM tools is my another responsibility. So these were like my major roles and responsibilities which I've been holding so far. And in specific to tools, as I stated, like I majorly worked on CrowdStrike and EDR for XDR as Microsoft Defender, which is Office 365, which is a Microsoft product. And for SIM, we used Splunk, and I also have experience working on Rapid7 and QRadar. And for email analysis, we majorly worked on Microsoft Defender itself. And for ticketing purpose, we use ServiceNow and Zira. Majorly, I worked on ServiceNow. So these were like the tools which I worked on, and I also have experience working on vulnerability assessment side, wherein we used Tenable, which is an SS product for automating scans or for understanding the vulnerability scores levels and mitigating them, like etc. will involve my roles when in precise with vulnerability assessment.
Fair enough. I think, see, my more concentration, rather my area of interest would be to see some of the new technologies.
Domain basically. So in order to
Some people come, sometimes people don't even turn up. I'm telling you, serious issues, emergency issues, yes, you are expected if you are called for. Look again.
oh, they asked me to relocate to Gurgaon, and I was
I'm just
not willing to
forwarding
relocate to
this,
Gurgaon,
okay,
so that
to
is the
make
reason
it
why
like
I
more
left
easy
it. Like
for
I
you to
hadn't
get
accepted the
understand.
offer.
So basically now you are readily available if opportunity is given, right?
Yes.
Okay, what was your last drawing salary with the previous company?
So it was 9 lakhs per annum.
Okay, and if I say, for example, let me check, some small trick game I play with you. So if I offer the same, will you be joining or you expect more?
I'm saying like 9 lakhs is expected. Like, haven't you asked about the expected CTC?
Yeah, I mean, okay, you tell me. Okay, you converted my question. Okay, what is your expected CTC?
Expected is 9, and like my last one salary is like 6 lakhs per annum, and 1 lakh is variable pay.
Okay, so you're expecting 9.
Yeah.
Okay, but let us say if I offer you somewhere around 7.5 or 8, is that sounding good?
No, it is not. So basically, you have already like offered me 9 earlier, like when you asked me whether if I'm okay with 9 lakhs, the same 9 lakhs package. So I'll be good with
No, no,
9.
but I thought actually your current CTC was that much, right? But you said actually 6.5 plus 1, right?
Yeah, 6 plus 1.
Okay, no worries. Okay, that we will take care. Don't worry. Yeah. So again, look, probably we will place you in a certain band, and again, I'm commenting from the package perspective, right? So we place you at a certain band for which if the band tells you that out of let us say 9 lakhs of your package, this percentage is your variable pay, that is actually expected. That's a normal process. What I think. Even today for my own band, if somebody offers me a package, there will be a fixed pay, there will be a variable pay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm calling it out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So if, for example, the higher the band is, the variable pay will be higher percentage.
True.
Slightly the lower the band is, the variable pay is lower. Hope you understand the difference, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying you can join immediately, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully, if HR people come back and try to seek your previous experience letters, offer letters, any other documentation, everything is clean and clear. That's what I assume.
Yes. Yes. I
In
have
other words,
all of them
the
handy.
BGV, the background verification should go clean and clear.
Yeah. Yeah. I have all my documents handy already.
Okay. Fair enough. I'm done. You have any question for me?
I'm good. Thank you. Because like you have already mentioned about everything which I have to know. So thank you so much for mentioning everything. Thank you.
And do you know where is this Jensar office in Hyderabad?
I've searched for it. It is somewhere in near.
No, don't worry. I will tell you. But where do you stay in Hyderabad?
I stay in KPHP currently.
Oh, very good. You stay very close to my place. So, okay, it is in DLF building. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So in DLF, the Jensar office is there on first floor. Again, I don't understand those towers and all that, but don't ask.
Anyways, right, this is what just discussions to get about that, how it's possible, getting a prepare for an interview. There are many use cases are there. In fact, if I'll show you, the interviews happens in India, happens in US, happens in the different region where the people are taking an advantage with this training. So I would like to tell you that, this is what the people can do it, right? You also can do it. It's all about your decision. Simple way, if we make it always delay, if we keep it on next, we can keep it on tomorrow, it's not going to be happens. Because I'll tell you one thing in a very simple way: security is a very important concept, right? When you're taking a decision, next 2 years, 3 years is going to be in a different way. So I want you to improve your financials and take the decision and can be a part of this journey. So requirement to become a security analyst, many people think that they need to be have a coding skill. No, you don't require to be have any coding skills. You don't need to be have any technical background, right? I am saying you that you're from scratch, we're going to learn that. So everything which we're going to take it care of it, right from networking to the entire process, which till you get it, all the skill set clearly and can be able to speak with the interviewer with the confident level. So all companies want to secure the data, and that's the reason there's a global job market trending with the high paying salaries right now. If you go ahead and search about the job market in LinkedIn, there is a huge opportunities are there, and our placement teams are having a very great experience about marketing your resume and taking you to the right decisions, right, the corporate where they going to be look on it. So how these sessions will be there, we're going to have it live session. That's for the networking. That's the first concept. From the scratch we're going to discuss. We're going to talk everything about the SOC analyst. We're going to cover about the cloud security, and we're going to talk about the interview preparation. That's the most important part of this training here. So This is at the area, but apart from this also you're going to get an access to the video sessions like for ethical hacking, as well as the web pen testing. If I'll show you the detail about how these process are there, what are the methods are there, you may get a detailed brochure for that, so where you can get understand how those training can help you out, what are the things are there. If I talk about the tools what we are covering, the tools can be that is our the Splunk, IBM Curator, Rapid7, Wireshark, Azure Sentinel, ticketing to like a Zira, how it can be there, and we're going to talk about the threat intelligence tool. This is the process which we are covering on these tools. So this is about the complete process which I want you to get understand, when been working as a security expert, these are the areas where you're going to get an experience here. So this is all about the security when we are talking about it, because this is the current and the next big market when we talk about it. So the security is very important while we are talking about it. If you've been a part of these, you have possibilities of getting a job and making good career is there. You can do the research and you can see that the opportunity levels are very high in the security here. So I must say that it is all about the people who will take the decision. They always have an success on that. They can be get and achieve whatever they have target goals and everything. So if you have any concern, any questions, make it possible, because there's a very quick process. From Monday we are starting the batch. That's a ready the batch from 8:30 p.m. We have very limited seat already. The people have enrolled that. Maybe 2 or 3 seats are left. So I'm not sure that how it's going to be get filled that. This is 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. where we have very simple and very easy way to drive you all this process. Monday to Friday will be the session. Sometimes we be giving you the task to provide for 2 days. So that can be a you'll get Friday, Saturday, Sunday to complete those tasks, because we want to do a lot of practicals and get understand the concept what is required on. So this is all about what we delivered. With this, if you have some most concern question, what are the chances of getting a job in that? So it depends upon your in it depends upon your passion. It depends upon how you're good to get it into it, how you are confident on your skill set, how you're good to take a decisions on this is a very important. Always have a trust on yourself, always be ready to grab the opportunity. So if I'll talk about this getting a chance of process, if you ask me how I can get a job, I can tell you that 80% chances are there after this course you will be getting a job, because we'll tell you everything about to get a job. It's to get a skill set, job, interview. This is the three major parameters which we are going to work on it. So we'll put our all complete support here. The 100% job supports are there. My team are there dedicatedly working on your profile and doing the marketing. You have to clear your interview. This is what where we are going to discuss on it. And if you ask me how much time it will take to get a job after this course, this is mostly concern we have it. So it is all once everything is done, we have a mock. Once the mock is clear, my team is ready to start your job. Next day they start marketing. Maybe in a week or a 2 week you start receiving a call, and also all depends upon your profile. Now when it is comes on the documentation management, so that is a completely customized, which need to connect you to see your profile. How so that is from the beginning only we have to start working on it, your profiles. We have to see the things it is that required, or sometimes you might need quite some background verification to be get done. If you haven't worked, you require the salary to be credited on your account. So those all things has to be done by ourselves. My team are there which have been going to take care of that. So there are the initial process are there which we guide you, so do not worry about that. So whatever the salary expectations you have it, based on that, the salary also will be get credited. It's like complete genuine process, where the companies if ask you to submit the bank statement that you have received salary, salary from the particular account. So that is also you can show that, right? This is all the way where we are going to be done. So this is all about process what you need it depends upon the profile, obviously. That is completely depends upon how your profile is, that is a customized services. Certain services which is open commitment services are the certain extra services have some extra process that need to be get connect with us and can see that what we can give you before we go ahead it. This is the concern where we are doing it. Now if you have, I want you to take it, right way, the decision. If you have any doubt, you please feel unmute your call and talk to me. We can discuss. I'm happy, you have invested your time and listen me, more than 1 hour. We've been there in 1 hour 15 minutes, we are there in the meeting. So I'm very happy, you are listening me very, spending your time, being in the weekend also. So that's a pleasure for me. It's not an issue. Decision is yours. No one is going to be forced to be a part of this course. It's not mandatory that you have taken this webinar or you taken some sessions and then you're getting back. No problem. That's not in concern. If you think like these services not match with your requirement, obviously I must say that you should not take it. If you think like this service match with your requirement, then do not wait for it. I mean to say that, take a decision. But you have to be in a right way while you're taking the decision. Yes, I want this or I don't want this. Simple and very clear way where we're going to do it. Yes. Yeah, Vivek. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me.
Yeah, thank you for your opportunity, Sheikh.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me ask you, I've got a background from biology,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't have anything related to cybersecurity or something related to information technology. Can I take this course and within a few weeks of time and make
Okay.
it
So,
complete?
yeah, you can do that. May I know your, when you have completed this education
It's
background?
way back in 2010.
2010. Okay. So
Yeah.
since 2010, now what you have done?
Now I have been in a fintech company. I have been working with PhonePe as a QR installer.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I have been working for PhonePe, and
Okay.
I've got experience with the fintech company only.
Okay.
So I just want to get into this kind of experience. Can I
Y-
able to do this?
yes, yes, of course you can do that. There are many people are there those who have taken that. Education is not a barrier. It's all about the skill set, when it is go ahead.
Okay.
And
So how long?
all these are from scratch.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
must
of
say
course.
one thing, you'll not worry that you have been from non-technical background, is that I can be a possible to be a part of these or not. But I must say
Yeah.
that yes, of course you can be a part of these. You can have these sessions, you can understand the concept. If you have anything, we have dedicated team to get connect you. I'm there with that, my team, my consultant will be there, will be checking with you any issues if you have it, the complete hand holding support are there when it is comes on the training part, right? That's our duty, that's our responsibilities, and we are passionate to train you, and we can do that. And if I talk about the duration of this course, is almost nearly it takes three months, right? It's a 60 to 65 days working days, in excluding holidays, right? That's a working days, if I say that. So it takes around 3 months max. It take might sometimes it may get up also, because we are not designed these course to complete. We design this process to get skill set on that completions. We have fixed dates. We can complete from this date to this date. I can give you the batch detail. So my batches will never go ahead on the fixed date. That's some people have the compliance regarding this. Sir, you must have create some, chart which you say that, hey Sheikh, you're starting this batch on 3rd March and ending at, let's say that in April 30, or you've been ending that in May 15, something like that. So I'll say, no, I don't limit the batch, because I'm not here to complete this. I'm here to give you, the content, the core content, what is required. And this is not to just complete the training, it's to learn things, to get skill set, to get a benefit of it. So for that time, it's not a issue for me. I'll spend as much as time it's required with my team to give you a proper content which is needed in the market. The value added content, the value added skill set, where the people are confidently can be able to clear interview, and the organizations will be proud to pay you the more salaries. That's is our intention, right? While we're going ahead.
As a fresher, how much they I can get? Like if I'm going to learn with this
Vivek, I must say
yes.
one thing, as a fresher, we never get a job. if
Okay.
you if you're if you're thinking that you're going to apply this job as a fresher, so don't do this course is not for you, because you're just investing your time and money. If you're going ahead, you're just learning the skill set. But to be frank, to be very clear way, I know the deep understanding about these organizations are like in the process. They never hire you as a fresher. They might give you a, they may call you, they may say, we'll touch you with you, but you never get a call. This is a very important situation. So that is what I am work on the root cause and analyze and bring in front of you the entire solution procedure for that. While we going ahead, we need to add some at least 2 to 3 years of experience to get a job,
Okay.
and that we can take care of it.
So how that you can say that yeah, for a non-technical background can take this course and apply for a company to get the job.
Yeah,
If I'm
that's
not going to be a fresher or going to be learn new things, how can I get a job now?
exactly. Yeah, that's a very good question. What you ask me. See, first there are three things out there. First is we are completely non-technical background, right? That's the
Yeah,
first thing. Second thing is that, and if I get learn these, and you're saying that if I apply for a job as a fresher, I won't get it. Then how it
yeah,
possible that I can get the job? This is right. Your
yes,
question is this, right? So this
yes,
is what I'm saying you that what we are doing is this training is like you're working on the project. Are you getting my point? The step by step process, the tools, installations, deployment, like internal technical aspects, the deep secrets of these industries, what areas they're going to be focused, what are the templates will be there, what are the frameworks will be there, everything. So we're going to transfer you this skill like 3 to 4 years of experience person is holding. Now, as we know, like if you're going for an interview with the two person, right? One person who have just done the training, the other person is a good experience with 5 to 6 years of it. When they tell something about the self introductions would be completely different, right? The person who got trained is different way. The person who's working in industry from the 5 to 6 months, he'll talk in a different way. Do you agree with that?
yes, yes, yes,
Now
yes,
we'll make you prepared, like the how the 5 to 6 years of experience person is talking, because the tools, technology, vendor types, what are the organizations are there, which vendor you have work. So that's the most important part. So we have created a very simple way, to get you crack this. We have created a good expertise templates based on your profile. Those template, if you get, just replace your name, your experience, your educations, and so on, the technology and the whatever we are going to manage it. So that template will make you perfect. So we'll make it ready and give it you the complete ready-made template. Just you need to understand and get brush up it on that, do the practice and have a mock with us where we can scale you. Yes, your scale rating, how it would be there. So overall mock interview will be how we going to for an interview. So before that, we'll test you with all those areas and we'll prepare you. We'll give you a lot of the preparations areas. We'll give you the point where you have to be a good for performing an interview. What are the active points are there where you have to drag your interviewer. That is also a art. Which area
yeah,
you don't know much, you should not go to that area. Which you know very good, in that area you have to come. How to answer something is not good, if something is not, we know that, that is also trick. And when I talk about negotiations with a particular process, how we can do that, that is also very important skill set, which all those are together, we're going to do that during this training.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
And what about the courses duration set? Like it will be limited to 3 or 4 months, and then you'll be able to continue to support the background.
Yeah, see the training part, when I tell you, I'll tell you very simple way. The first part, when we are going ahead with the core training, whatever we doing, right? That can be the skill set, interview preparation, CV preparations, all that. Then comes the mock interview boss. When the mock interview is completed, now comes to the your documentations. This is the last and which is most important part. With it, the consult team will be there connecting with you and creating all the documentations required by your process to be done. Now comes the process of job. Now my marketing team continuously start doing the job marketing, and they started doing the with all the references and other extra process. They might have initially when you be onboarded, my team will contact you before we during your session only, first week of our session only. My team, the placement team, will get a record back which are the people are there in the batch. They individual get a call from my placement team, sales team, and they'll check about your LinkedIn profile. They'll check about all your documents. They keep it ready with them, to guide you. It's not like after a training they'll start working on it. So the at least the profile management you will get in a first week of these, maybe you get a call in between 10th to 12th March if you start this course. and they start working on your profile first. Like, during this one side we have been doing with the training, the other side they will been connected you indirectly, like, they directly call you in some time, or they message you and they'll take the information. They'll ask you several questions, like, where your profile can be a more, like, strong while they apply for a job. So they start their work during this training. This is how it's we are doing it, the complete process, the solution work we have it. So there are the two teams have been working on it. So actually there are three team. My consultant team, which is connected to you regarding your issues or anything are there, you need to be contact. And these consultant team have like 2 point where they can communicate. One side they gonna talk to me if you have any issues, or my technical team or tools, video access. All these videos have been also getting recorded and you will be getting an access to these videos, as well as materials, all resources, everything. So any problem you have it for the training, my team is there to contact. You can contact them and can give you the process. And also for any update quickly from my side, if it is happen, so I'll be there in a one separate WhatsApp group we are creating during this batch. So according to the batch will be there. So daily updates about the classes, when I'm joining, like, when I'll tell you to join the classes, whatever the defined time, or any material or resources if I need to send it, mostly, like, I'll do that on the WhatsApp group which we've been the power of that. This is how we are going to do it.
And what about the course fees on this? Is it
So for this, may I know, like, like, who have shared you this link?
Mehak has shared my link.
Mehak, okay. So
Yeah.
Mehak will give you, like, the complete detail about that. The fee structure is 25,000. Okay, this is the
Oh,
entire course, the complete solution course is 25,000. Except some of the additional charges will be there. Like, additional charges in case of, like, your profile is to be your more strongest. Like, where you'll be looking for the salary to be get credited in your account. Your form 16 should be created. Like, all those areas. If it is you're looking, there is some, obviously there is some extra charges for that. But till experience, offer letter, pay slips, and other, like, job marketing, that's all included in that. Actually that's a free of cost which we want you to support it. So whatever we do it with this process, so it's a 25,000. And you can connect to Mehak and she will give you the complete more detail, but this is only for this batch, like, which have been including, like, actually the process of doing the documentations and all will be separate for the other batches. For your batch, this is including with this only. So that is a benefit, like, almost you're saving around 10 to 15,000 if you've been a part of these batch, which is getting start on 1st March, like, sorry, 3rd March, 8:30 p.m.
okay, okay, Sheikh. Okay,
All
that's
right,
all
so
good.
it's a
Yeah, hi, sorry for the interruption.
yeah,
Yeah.
Tiger. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have experience in the networking 2 years. So I'm currently working in TCS.
Hmm.
Um,
So currently you're
in
working in
this,
TCS. You're currently working
yes,
in
correct.
TCS. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. All
I
right.
have experience in networking in 2 years.
Okay. So Tiger, are
So,
you are you right now,
yes,
like, holding a job in TCS, right?
no, currently I'm doing.
Yeah, you're working. Okay, I got it. I got it. Okay. Yeah. So what is your question?
My question is, if I take security course on the cyber security course, after 4 months or 5 months, if I want to switch to cyber security means, uh, they will consider as a previous experience of cyber security, or
See, it depends, like, where. Yeah,
is
I
it possible to
understand.
change on the same?
Yeah, I understand. So your question is that, like, when we are going for these job applications, you have already the networking experience in TCS and you want to switch that to the security. So is that the experience is gone 100%? It will be gone. So not to worry about it. So there are some secrets are there. I'll tell you, like, how the people can switch. There are many people are there. If it is only difficulties are there, if you're looking for the internal position change, that might be a possibilities are there. If you change the internal positions change, that is also the TCS has also this departments, right? So where they can be get change internal job positions also, if you have a skill set and you can prove in them, like, you can be have a, one of the part of these can perform it, yes, of course you can be a part of that. Also if you're looking for some other, like, from Infosys you're going to switch to the Wipro or TCS to Wipro or any other organization also is a possible. Yes, you can get it that, and it will be count and will guide you everything, all the steps what is required for that.
These 3 months course is sufficient to switch. 30
200%
years of
sufficient.
experience, sir.
200, yeah, 200% of sufficient. You not only with the positions of where you'll be getting a medium level, I can tell you the advanced level, especially about your profile, because you're the more capable profile. You are already working in networking. You are already know the process. You know that what are the corporate culture world there. So it will 100% help you out.
Mm, thank
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So is there any question from anyone else? If you have it, please feel free to ask me.
Hi, Uptigar.
Hi,
This is
Swapnil.
Swapnil.
Yes.
So currently I'm working in a like MNC as experience of 2.5 years of experience. So and currently my package is 5 LPA. So if I want to switch the job in this SOC analyst as a SOC analyst, so what will be the my like next package?
Currently, what position you're working?
Like currently I'm in a like a recruiter.
Recruiter. Okay.
I have also worked as a network
Oh,
administrator, and like
yeah.
currently working as a recruiter.
Yeah, I understand. So, Swapnil, how it happens, I'll tell you the packages which are there. Like most my students will get it. They get it in between actual packages 8 lakh to 15 lakh. These are there. Most of my students will get a package between 8 to 12 lakhs. It depends upon their experience part, the past experience. If they are applying for 4 to 5 years, right, they get 8 to 12 lakhs of package. So we can go ahead with these areas. So I can tell you the guarantee that if we do proper training and proper your process and your interest of learning things is there, the practice of rate, the practice rate is you're going quite good. Within 4 months your salary package can be up to 9 to 12 lakh. In between 100% will be get it in the security if we clear interview.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the training wise is completely clearly defined process. I can say you that after this training, you can be there at the client facing role. Most of the student, if you have listened the last recording, like the interview recording, so they are from non-technical background. She was there into the teaching field. She was there into the teaching and she switched the career into the security, get the train, she got prepared with all the requirements what we have guide, and she's now doing a very good job with almost nearly 9 to 10 lakh package. 9 lakh is a fix and 1 lakh is a variable for her, right? This is a package which are working. There's a lot of the evidence are there. Because why I'm so confident, I have lot of use cases which I have seen the people. I know how to take their profile. My team is there dedicatedly working on it. This is what makes difference with us. So I don't want you to just being a part of training. I want you to get it a job on that. So we put all our efforts, genuinely 100% transparency, whatever the support you needed for a job. Like the documentations I said you certain level. If you go for the beyond, obviously I'll make it transparency. I don't want you to be getting confused before you take a decision. What you've been getting the documentations part, experience letter which is 100% genuine, will be getting a reply if it is required. You get an experience letter, you get an offer letter, you get the pay slips, you get the relieving letter. These are four including in this package. Beyond that, salary credit in our account, form 16, or some other things which we have to be required. You said in the beginning only you required to be have some pf accounts, right? You need to be manage that as well. So obviously from beginning we have to do it. No, after the course if you do, it takes 3 months to make it the profile strong. So my team will start from the beginning. Once you enroll this course, when we start that, my team will contact you and get start working on your profiles for this process. You got it?
Yes.
Yeah, this is how it's going to be happen. So that is some extra additional charges will be there. My team will inform you for. If you're looking for, and again I repeat, this is not extra charges for the experience letter, offer letter, pay slips. This is only the extra charges when we are managing your account with the account salaries, form 16, as well as pf detections. You get complete pf details also, which is required if in order to get submit to your organization. If you want you don't want to take a risk, Yes, of course, we do also have this process which is 100% validate. It's not just manageable, it is just if they can verify, obviously they can verify by taking the government portals. We're going to create your account, and it's like an official salary maintaining from your account to, like, the particular managed companies what we have it. It means like we want to help you out in every area where the people get filled to get a job. To get a job, this is a solutions way. That is the reason where I can say you proud, confidently, yes, you can be get a job, because I know like to transfer the knowledge, skill set, whatever it is required. Second thing, documentation, I have all the process ready with me. Like, I have the complete team which are doing this. So that's the reason confidently I can say that yes, you're getting a job. If you say that, like, only with this training can I get the job, if I do the training and I apply for me, the process. Many people do the training, they not get a job, they not have like proper mentorship, like that is. So yes, of course, somebody like, who have already the background, they already have like, technical, they don't have the like, any kind of back, any gap, they don't have any like, process, they are continue and they are doing the training, obviously they have taken the benefit with this training. Yes, of course they can do it. Documentation part is extra, that will be done with us, so those people need only for the placement process team, which my team is going to do that. This is how the difference are there. Okay, is that okay, everybody?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. One last final question. After the 3 or 4 months course completed, how much knowledge we can able to gain, like intermediate or
4 years,
beginner
four
or
years
advanced?
like I can tell you the 4 years, it can be like, complete, intermediate, and above, like, beginning of advance. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is all about it, guys. So if you want to be a part of it, you have to take it a quick decision. My team will call you back, like, once this webinar is done, immediately they call you. So do the response, whatever you wanted to, like, take in decision. So make it that clear, because we are into finalize. Sunday my team will be not there to available, and for Monday we are starting, like, directly at 8:30 p.m. So if you want to, like, be a part of these batch, so there is very limited people are there in the batch also. Like, even in the webinar, we were expecting only the 8 people, and almost, like, 7 people have joined. So if anything is there, just contact with my team, and like, process whatever we want to do it on that. Okay. If you have any other questions, please let me know that.
My analysis.
Okay, thank you. All right. So that's all. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Bye.